How's it going, everyone? Blueknight here, and welcome back to the third episode of our Q&A Roundtable, where I once again attempt to answer your questions that you guys left for me under the previous Q&A video. And oh boy, we got quite a bit more questions to work with compared to last week's episode. Now, I'm aware that this video is running a little bit late, but that's because I'm trying to update my setup right now, and I just found out that the Sonic movie sequel was just announced. And instead of making an individual video for this, I'll just go ahead and include it in this video. It'll only take a minute before we move on to the Q&A portion of the video. So from what we know, many crew members will be returning for the sequel, like Jeff Fowler in the director role, Tim Miller as one of the executive producers. Pat Casey and Josh Miller are once again writing the sequel's script. Right now, the film is still in development stages and decisions have not yet been made regarding casting or production start date, meaning we won't be seeing this film until at least late 2022, give or take 2023. But hey, at least it won't need to be delayed for redesigns, so that's a plus. But anyways, let's just go ahead and cut to the chase and start answering some questions, shall we? The first question comes from a longtime subscriber of the channel, Tabriz Siddiqui. I apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Anyways, Tabriz says, have you ever seen any of B-Mask's analytical retrospective videos of the Sly Cooper trilogy? As of recording this video, not yet. It's just that I've been very busy lately, so I don't get to watch a whole lot of YouTube videos, just due to the fact that, as a content creator, I seemingly spend more time editing videos together than I do watching them. So who knows, I might get around to checking it out soon. The second question comes from another longtime subscriber to the channel, Connor Donahue, saying, what do you think will be the next Nick video game remake after Battle for Bikini Bottom, and will you cover any other series? Okay, so concerning the first part of the question about what the next Nick game remake will be, well, back in 2018 it was announced that THQ Nordic partnered with Nickelodeon to re-release lots of games from Nickelodeon's catalog, and going by SpongeBob Rehydrated, it'd be safe to assume that these would be remakes. And the list includes games based on the following series: Avatar: The Last Airbender, Back at the Barnyard, Cat Scratch, Danny Phantom, El Tigre, Invader Zim, Jimmy Neutron, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Rocket Power, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, SpongeBob SquarePants, Tak and the Power of Juju, The Fairy Odd Parents, US Only, The Ren and Stimpy Show, and The Wild Thornberrys. Now, out of all those on the list, despite a lot of these shows being cancelled, the ones that I can see the most likely being remade next are the ones that have managed to garner a good amount of fans. And that's either The Fairy Odd Parents, I've played Shadow Showdown and thought it was a pretty good game. Jimmy Neutron, I have played Attack of the Twonkies, again another pretty good game. Tak, which it can be debated if it started as a show or a video game since both released at about the same time. And Danny Phantom, I've personally really enjoyed the TV show, and I have played The Ultimate Enemy on the Game Boy Advance. And while I very much enjoyed it, this game, as well as the other GBA Danny Phantom games, really do need a remake. Not just because they were GBA exclusive, which didn't make all that much sense at the time. I mean, the series itself never got a proper 3D game like SpongeBob, Fairy Odd Parents, and Jimmy Neutron did. With the closest thing it's ever gotten to that is the Nicktoons games, which were fine. I mean, I thought they were fun, but if they ever got remade, they definitely need some major retooling with the gameplay and some other things. But one entry on that list still baffles me, and that's My Life as a Teenage Robot. This was yet another show that I used to watch, but strangely enough, the series never even got a video game to itself. Instead, only appearing in a couple crossover games, including Nicktoons, and that honestly makes even less sense than Danny Phantom not getting a 3D game. In short, the titles that would most likely be remade due to nostalgia and has a relatively good-sized fanbase being Fairy Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, and Tak. As for the second half of your question, if the other Nick series I just named, aside from Tak, do get game remakes, I'll be sure as heck to talk about them, as those are the ones I'm the most familiar with. The next question comes from Bandom CD. What is your favorite classic Sonic game? I'm not entirely sure if you just mean the classic Genesis style games or just anything classic Sonic in general. If you mean the former, then it'd have to be Sonic Mania. But if you mean the latter, then it'd have to be Sonic Generations, hands down. The fourth question comes from Marillaroo. Will you ever do a face reveal? I really love your channel. First off, thank you, I really appreciate the comment. Secondly, I've been thinking about doing it for quite a long time, and honestly haven't decided to do it just yet. But with the approaching launch of SpongeBob Rehydrated, I've been thinking more and more about doing it for that video, seeing as other YouTubers like Canadian Guy A and AntDude do this on a regular basis for their videos. However, that comes with privacy issues, and I don't exactly know if I want to deal with any of that just yet. And on top of that, I just don't have a proper setup. Heck, I don't even have a good quality camera to do so, even if I wanted to. Who knows, maybe when my setup gets a little bit better, I'll change my mind on it, so we'll have to see how that goes. Next question comes from Diane Lionheart, saying, are you clamoring for more playable characters besides Sonic for the next Sonic game? If yes, which character would you like to see playable again? Me, I have too many I'm desperate to play as again. Same here, but I would definitely be all for Sega and Sonic Team bringing back more playable characters to the Sonic series. Not racing games. I meant actual 3D platforming Sonic games. And if I had to choose just one, it'd have to be Blaze the Cat. The primary reason being that Blaze just feels like a very underused character in the series. And if you've seen my video regarding Blaze, then you'll know what I mean. After 2006 and Rush Adventure released, she wasn't really involved in much of any of the game's stories or even playable in those games afterward. And it's really a sad thing to see because she's such a great character with very unique abilities that can be expanded upon with today's hardware capabilities. Same can be said for Silver, provided that the next game will be a much more polished experience than Forces, which is apparently why we haven't seen a new 3D Sonic game since Forces, as Sega knew that the quality of the past 3D Sonic games wasn't where it needed to be due to rushed production. And that a few years ago, the development teams have agreed to put more time into things as they go forward. But isn't that what you're supposed to do to begin with? Make sure the games are the very best they can be before it launches? I mean, you guys spent 3 years working on Forces, oh, never mind. So in short, yeah, if I had to choose a character, it'd be Blaze the Cat. Anyways, we come to our final question for today's episode, and it comes from Stage Builder, saying, thanks for covering my question. Also, if you like AntDude, please check out NitroRad. He is also amazing. I did already, well, the Rayman video that featured AntDude anyways. Yeah, really enjoyed it. If you got a Switch, would you like to have Super Mario games and news in your channel, such as 35th Anniversary Remasters or Odyssey 2? Well, here's the thing. I do have a Nintendo Switch, but content and news regarding Mario games, I don't know. I never was too much of a Mario guy. Yeah, the series has some interesting concepts that break away from the usual point A to point B 2D gameplay, but at the end of the day, I'm more of a Sonic guy than I am with Mario. That could be because I grew up with Sonic and generally think that he's cooler than Mario ever was, but despite the rocky career that Sonic's had, there's some pretty good games mixed in there. It's not that I don't like Mario games or the series as a whole, it's just not as appealing to me, you could say, compared to all the other series that I talk about here on the channel. However, I will say that I am very interested in picking up Paper Mario and the Origami King for the Switch. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's because of the interest generated by the slightly darker story than what Mario is typically known for, which is usually Princess Peach gets kidnapped and that's pretty much it. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. But my question is, if Mario can keep getting RPG games, then why can't Sonic get any more? And yeah, that's pretty much all of the questions that we've got for today's episode of the Q&A Roundtable. But if you guys have any more questions, then be sure to leave them all down in the comment section below this video, and I'll see what I can do for the next episode, which could be a little bit late because we're starting to enter June, and that's going to be a crazy season to get any side projects done with news popping up all the time. So the next few episodes may get delayed because of that. But I do very much appreciate you guys tuning in for this episode, and hopefully you'll stay tuned for the next one, as well as all the other content coming soon to the channel, ranging from discussions, news, rumors, etc., etc. Oh, but no 4chan posts. I already learned my lesson regarding the Jack and Daxter post. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. And once again, I've been Blueknight, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Goodbye!